position quite clear, and you would have better served your interest if you had just joined any of the parties instead of coming in as a friend of the courts?
Well, the suggestion that we should have joined the case is well taken, but the point also is that what does that mean for an amicus? You know, I mean, in other jurisdictions, people file amicus cases anyway, and they take positions. We do have an interest in the matter. I mean, I suspect that is why we actually decided to file the brief. So to suggest that the brief was not neutral, I don't understand the language. I think they probably didn't even read anything, but anyway, they made their decisions, and we can live with that.
Is this the end of the road for you in terms of your activism related to this particular issue?
Well, this is a country of law and order. I would think that the courts have decided what they have to decide. It doesn't stop us from activism. We'll keep on speaking about the matters because we think that these are critical matters of public policy. I think the courts have benefited soundly from sound public policy, but they chose differently. And so, well, here we are. Well, on the onset of this application, we did say that we were at the benevolence, more or less, of the laws. And so what they decide to do, we'll live with it. It's just that we are disappointed, though, that they didn't even consider the brief itself. We think they would have benefited greatly from it. But look, the laws have spoken, and we can't quarrel with that. We just have to live with it. But I hope that the decisions they arrive at eventually would be the decision that everybody can live with in this country. Otherwise, I'm just disappointed. I think my colleagues here are equally disappointed. This was an introduction to how cases are determined in court. I was quite awed. I mean, at some point I was laughing all through. But I guess lawyers know their trade, and the judges also know their trade. So yes, we can't fault them. They did what they had to do. But I think that to suggest that the amicus was not neutral was a bit far-fetched, really.
Yeah, the court says you have made comments that made your position quite clear, and you would have better served your interest if you had just joined any of the parties instead of coming in as a friend of the courts.
Well, the suggestion that we should have joined the case is well taken, but the point also is that
in the Ashanti region is talking unity after 9 incumbent parliamentarians in the region lost the bid to represent the party in the December polls. Regional organizer Francis Adomako says the outcome of Saturday's primaries is not shocking. He says the regional executives will organize a peace and unity forum to bring both winners and losers on board for the task ahead. Mr. Adomako believes losing candidates especially cannot afford to sit on the fence ahead of the party's general elections campaign. Ohiming Teria has more.
9 incumbent MPs failed in their re-election bid as delegates decided otherwise. They include Deputy Roads Minister Kwabena Owusu-Aduomi for Ejuso, Daniel Ochem Abuaje for Bantama, Ishaesos Kennedy Kankam and Abdullah Banda for Finso South. The rest are Joseph Kwam, Manson Kwanta, Collins Owusu-Amankwa Menchia North, Dr. Kojo Apiakubi Achuma Kwangoma and Insuta Kwamambi Posos Kwame Asafuaji, and also Joyce Dare of Bosome Freho. For Mr. Adomako, the new entrants may be new, but they are true supporters who have contributed diversely to build the party.
All these people who won are not alien to the party. They are part of the party. MPP, we always say that we have the men. Definitely, when there is a race of this particular nature, people who deem it fit will by all means come and compete. All those who contested are able men and women of the party. Each of them are capable. So we believe that the delegates have decided, and we should respect the decision of the delegates. I believe that the other people who lost have not lost. The party have won. My prayer is that they should not relent, they should not relax, They should not sit back. We should all come together and fight a common goal.
According to Mr. Adumakun, the party will initiate unity discussions with losers and victors to have all hands on deck for 2020 elections. He appeals to all contestants to accept the outcome of the election and join the national campaign.
We don't want a situation whereby the constituency will be divided, because when the constituency is divided, it will be difficult for us to get a maximum number of people going to the voter registration centers to go and register. Now that the election is over, all of us should come together with a united front. There shouldn't be anybody's camp. We shall have the party MPP. My plea first is to all the winners that they should not relax. First, they should move to all those who lost. Invite them. Let's all move together so that we'll move the party forward.
Regional office do any unity rally or something?
We as a party will also not sit down. We will do our homework. We will bring all the various aspirants together and we'll talk to them so that all of us will unite and move the party forward.
From Kumasi, Ohimi Interior reporting.
We stay in the Ashanti region because polling stations in the Kwadase constituency are preparing to wrap up polls as a higher number of delegates turned up to cast their ballots in the early hours of the elections. Parliamentary primaries of the NPP in that constituency had to be postponed to today due to contention on the voter album. Some polling stations, including a Genasi Rehabilitation Center, had all delegates showing up to cast their ballots by 11:30. Joining us live is Nanayao Jima. Nanayao, paint that general picture for us.
So we are still in the Genasi polling station, and in less than 1 hour, the election is supposed to end in all polling stations. And the tour that I've done through the constituency and in various polling stations show some of the constituents, most of them are almost done with the elections. Most of the people or the delegates have shown up so far to cast their ballot. Some of them have a few people to go. For instance, if you go to Agrek and Zama, there's just one person they're expecting to show up to cast his ballot. So at the moment in Adjunase polling station, most of the delegates who cast their ballots in the morning are coming back to witness the counting of the ballots. Some are actually giving pressure to the Electoral Commission to end proceedings and count the ballots so that they know who is winning. But the Electoral Commission says he will have to go accordingly to the regulations that govern this election that we are having here today. So we have 3 people contesting for the seat, including SK Nyama Doctor, who is the incumbent member of parliament, Vincent Frimpong Menu, and also Dr. Nyama, and also one other who are all contesting. Dr. Kislinyako, he's also one of the people contesting the incumbent MP. So I will speak to some of the people, the delegates, and some of them are also representatives of the various candidates. I'll speak to them briefly, and from there we talk about security arrangements and others. So you've been here, you've witnessed what happened. What are your impressions so far in this particular polling station and others?
Well, thank you very much. We started around 7 o'clock in the morning, and we're expecting about 27 people to come and cast their vote. And as it stands now, all the 27 people have come to cast their vote. So we're waiting for the time for the polls to start counting. And that is what we're still here waiting. The time expected to close polls is 1 o'clock, and we are still here waiting for the time to start counting the ballots.
This man, Mr. Kuma, I've been having a lot of interactions with, and he's very confident that his candidate, Mr. Vincent Frimpong Menu, will carry the date. Mr. Kuma, what makes you very confident?
Because all the people in the constituency love the man, all the delegates love the man. They know the good work he's doing around the constituency. And even the incumbent knows that Vincent is doing a good job in the constituency. So that makes me more confident that Vincent will win and win hands down with a massive vote. I know that we will win.
It will be prudent to give the opportunity to the representative of Dr. Kingsley Nyarko, one other aspirant for this constituency, to also talk to me about their chances. But before we talk about their chances, he was supposed to vote. He was expecting to vote, but unfortunately for him, when he showed up, his name was not in the row. So he has been disappointed, but he has been beaming with smiles since morning, since I met him. I don't know why, even though his name is missing. But so let's talk about that. Sir, your name was missing, but still, you are confident. You are okay. Why?
Okay. This time I can be true because the two have already speaking English. You see, quite so. You do it. Na eba abatro musu so ya kye mu yie nti yenim abatro mu yie na ensem kitwa bi na aba na misunderstanding bi na aba na me aka say the medidi say after this election we shall come together as one.
So are you confident, say Momo aspirant, that's Mr. Dr. Kingsley Nyarko, everything win because Ushema last 4 years but unfortunately he was beaten by SK Nyama. This time, na confidence win.
He wasn't prepared at that time, but this time they were going to fool him. You know, delegates in hope he's going to win.
So Mr. J.K. Champon, I just spoke to, is a representative for Dr. Kingsley Nyarko, who is also contesting for the seat here at Kwadaso constituency. So wrapping up, there have been high police and military presence in the constituency so far, and at an interval of 30 minutes, you see some military men and policemen entering polling stations to check on what is happening. And because of that, there have been a lot of discipline in all polling stations, and it's been very calm here today.
Thank you very much. We'll come back when we have the results coming in from Kwadaso constituency. Remember, Dr. Patrick Nyama, who is the incumbent MP there, is the chairman of the Health Committee of Parliament. And so if the unfortunate happens to him and he loses, he becomes the 12th committee chairman who has lost his NPP parliamentary primary. The rest of the day would show. Now, the Bono East region, though the region is the last but one region to have recorded a positive COVID-19 case, currently has a total of 35 confirmed cases, with 13 clients discharged from transmission-based precautions and reintegrated into their communities. The region is mapping out strategies capable of tackling stigmatization associated with the pandemic. This was disclosed at a briefing held by the Regional Coordinating Council. Anna Sabit has more.
Nearly 1 month after the Bono East region recorded its first COVID-19 case on the 26th of May this year, the region's case count currently stands at 35 according to the Regional Health Director, Dr. Fred Admakomboate.
The total number that we are having as a region is 35. For the 35, 19 of them are males, and then 16 of them are females. The age ranges from 3 years to 67. Most of them are in their 30s for the cases that we have.
At a press briefing held in Techiman, Dr. Fred Admakomboate indicated that 6 out of the 11 districts within the region are currently with positive COVID-19 cases.
Now, the breakdown of the cases are, for 6 of them, they are from Pro East. 20 of them are from Techiman Municipal. The one is from Nkrasa South. And 6 of them are from Techiman North. And 3 of them are from Kintampo North. So we have 6 of the districts out of 11 having recorded cases.
Bono East Regional Minister and Member of Parliament for Atebubu Amantin constituency, Mr. Kofi Amwakohene, indicated that with 13 discharged patients, the region is currently combating stigma head-on to ensure that recovered patients are being accepted into the society.
In Bono is what we have done, and we did it before the media, is we've introduced a face. One of the contestants who participated in the past pageant that happened at TV3, Ghana's Most Beautiful, and our contestant was Pena, and she has just been introduced as a lead ambassador for fighting or combating the stigmatization that comes with the treated patient, COVID patients. And I believe that we are going to assist her in all directions so that she would lead and bring the people back to the society so that society would also embrace them.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Tichiman.
Now, still on the subject of COVID, Mama V. Oso Abwaje of the AM show visited the Ghana East Hospital, where the Ghana Private Sector Fund is working on the 100-bed facility for COVID treatment. Now, she interacted with Senyo Hosi.
The project sites of the Infectious Disease Isolation Treatment Center, the only one of its kind in our country. The last time I was here, just about a month ago, this was not there. It was just the foundation, but look how far we've come with the project. I am back again, this time taking up the challenge thrown at all of us by managing trustee of the Private Sector Trust Fund, Senyo Hosi. He's asking all of us to contribute at least 10 Ghana cedis to the completion of this project. I am just running so I can catch up with him. He would explain where we are with the project. So come with me.
So what we do right now is external landscaping to enable an ambulance climb up a ramp and then drop patients for care.
Okay.
And this is the main entrance. You could come this way.
So Senyo is taking us on a tour of the facility. Of course, the first time I came here, it was just the foundation.
That was just about a month and a half ago, I think. Yeah. So this is going to be the main entrance of the building.
Okay.
We call here the pre-trial area. When patients come here, we sort them out. If people, we don't have certainty about their level of infection, we put them in the triage area to the side, right? And then there's another set of rooms here where we isolate, take tests till we confirm they are infectious. So you don't have people who come here with suspicion of infection, actually rather picking an infection in here. Okay, so when you're crossing, that's what we call the corridor of hope.
This is the corridor of hope.
This is the corridor of hope. It actually walks you straight into the entire ward treatment areas. So these are standard rooms for the wards.
Can we take a look?
Yeah, we will. We will take a look. Any of them works.
Good morning.
Any of them works. We're just clearing out the floor so we can actually start the floor work. So the windows are up. You can see the ceilings are about to be done. We are working 24 hours so we can still cover and then hopefully meet our set deadline.
Okay.
There's the ICU is way down the corner, which we'll be working up to. So same. So you see the rooms are pretty big, but they are big because with infectious diseases, we want to minimize cross-contamination. Here is our nursing station, which is also being firmed up. And what you see there is the medical block. That's the access. It's a one-way access coming in. Where you are right now is more the entire treatment area.
Okay.
We'll go to the ICU section briefly.
Okay.
The ICU has been fully sponsored by the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana fully sponsored the ICU. And it's going to be the first unit that's going to be completed. We'll go down that way quickly before we miss.
So this is the ICU?
We'll walk in there. But I think you see what's going on here. We have an 800 kVA generator. 800 kVA generator being installed. Currently being installed by AXA, who are the suppliers of our generator. So you can see that's going on because it's going to fully powered by air condition, treated air conditions. You're going to have all the air coming in UV treated and all the air going out also UV treated, so you don't have contamination coming in or going out of the building. It needs a lot of power. This place is fully climatically controlled.
Very encouraging work going on there. So you can also contribute 10 Ghana cedis to this bold project. Now, away from COVID, the police CID has arrested 2 persons who are involved in the demolition of the building on the premises of the Nigeria High Commission. According to a statement from the police CID, the suspects have been charged according to the due laws in the Criminal and Other Offences Act. Joining us is DSP Juliana Obeng, Head of Public Affairs Unit of the Police CID. Who are these people, DSP? Hi, DSP, who are these people? We seem to have lost DSP Juliana Obeng, Head of Public Affairs Unit of the Police CID. We'll re-establish contact with her. Then we'll get more details about these persons who have been arrested. But you're seeing there, in your shot, what remains of that building, which is said to be a part of the Nigerian High Commission to Ghana. As you can see there, a part of the wall has been broken down. There are some Nigerians there who are very angry, who are visibly bothered, and they are protesting this demolition. Right, let's now speak to DSP Juliana Obeng, Head of Public Affairs Unit of the Police CID. So, DSP, who are these suspects who have been apprehended?
Thank you. Daniel, I do not have information.
Pardon me, DSP. The quality of the line is quite poor. Can you reposition yourself so we can hear you better?
Okay. Is it better now?
Much better. Let's hear you.
All right. So I did say that unfortunately we are not putting the names of these 2 suspects out now. Reason being that we do know that tensions are a bit high now. And then secondly, my information is that we are taking something like to get some other suspects who were involved in the exercise. And so for these 2 reasons, we are not able to put out the names of these 2 suspects. But the 2 suspects that were arrested are being put on court today.
Right. So how large is this gang which worked on this, DSP? Do we know?
Please come again.
How many people are we looking for in total? Do we know?
We do not know. Investigations are still ongoing, and so we could have a lot more of the suspects who will be investigated and then agree before anything.
Can you confirm that the people who carried out this demolition were accompanied by some state security officials of some sort?
Well, I am not in a position to mention that, to accept or deny it as of now. What I do know is that investigations are still ongoing. If after investigations we are able to come out with the facts, we would put out the facts as it is reference to the particular question that you have asked. So
is the site secure now?
Is the site?
The site for the demolition, is it secure now?
It has been under security since Friday. Yes, and it still is under security, police protection.
Right. Do we still have persons going there to agitate and protest?
No, it's part of the reason being that it's still a space under investigation. And so for now, we do not have people going there for any kind of activity that we have made.
But the embassy is working.
Come again?
Is the embassy working? I know it was on the premises of the Nigerian embassy.
I really can hear you.
Is the embassy working, the Nigerian embassy? Hello, DSP Obeng. Unfortunately, we lost DSP Juliana Obeng. She's head of the Public Affairs Unit of the Police CID. Now, staff of oil services company Schlumberger have described as inhumane and barbaric the decision of management to place them on suspended employment for a year. This means workers have been sent home without salary or benefits and are unable to seek employment elsewhere in the industry. The staff say they are being treated unfairly by management. Bright Dankwa is the local president of the General Transport, Petroleum and Chemical Workers Union. He was speaking on Prime Morning on Joy Prime TV.
We all have families. We all have dependents. We all have people that look up to. We look up to, and they also look up to us. Sometimes, we need to take care of people outside our own confines. If you are asking an employee to go on suspended employment up to a year without pay, and also, look at one of the conditions they place here. Employment is not guaranteed for any specific position, so it's not guaranteed that you will come back.
Okay.
It's in their own words. I'm not quoting them, or I'm not picking words for them. And during this period, engagement in any employment within the oil and gas industry will be deemed as resignation. So if I'm staying home, I'm not being paid, I go look for a job. Immediately I get a job.
Industry.
Yes, within the oil industry. Immediately I get a job, they terminate it, all your benefits, you lose it. This is barbaric. This is wicked. This is not fair to the Ghanaian. And this is
is really the need for this to take place.
Right.
So, for example, they will have to prove that truly they are in either financial distress, or truly the contract is frustrated, or truly there's a force majeure that has impacted the company's business so much so that employee payments cannot be sustained. There is a lot of case to be made to the other party to come to a firm understanding and agreement before any such action can take place. So for letters, the communication that goes to employees, for example, would have to have a part where the employees will have to acknowledge on paper that yes, they accept, right? But this situation is even a bit more complicated because there's a union.
Now, Deputy Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, Bright Reko Brobe, has assured the workers that his ministry will ensure they receive what they are due.
We will get to management and then bring the two together and ensure that whatever that is due workers, whatever that management must do to bring absolute peace, this will be resolved. So I can assure him of that. He should try and bring all the documents he has to the ministry. If he comes and minister is not there, I will be there. And so he must be rest assured that these matters do happen. And when they do, we judge all and ensure that we put everything to rest and parties are happy. Normally, they don't even end up at the NLC when they come to the ministry. We have done this with lots of companies, Taka and all that. It's well. So please, the gentleman should hold his fire a bit. I can imagine the frustration that he's gone through.
Right.
But he should also be assured that when he brings these matters, we will invite the labor officer, my minister will sit through. My minister always brought me into such matters. And we will make sure that we resolve these matters amicably.
Right. Still live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Dazi. We're coming back with business, and in business, PIAC demands accountability on utilization of some 1.5 billion cedis from Petroleum Holding Fund. Stay with us.
Charlie, no joke. Fever, headache, vomiting, loss of appetite. I couldn't even eat my usual fufu.
You and your fufu. But I hope you got tested before the malaria treatment.
Yes, I did. And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
When malaria strikes, take Malatu, containing Artemether and Lumefantrine. Comes in tablets and suspension for effective treatment of malaria.
Great to have you back.
Thank you. No problem.
Malatu is suitable for adults and children. Manufactured and distributed by NS Chemist Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Take a tour through Ghana's fastest growing online portal, www.adumonline.com, for local and international news, business, entertainment, politics, lifestyle, sports, and more. Watch the most intriguing YouTube videos on demand and live streaming of Adum TV, Ghana's #1 television station. Listen to live radio and podcast of all your favorite Adum FM programs, no matter your location and time. AdumOnline.com is an audio, photos, and video focused website. We break the news as and when it happens. AdumOnline.com is on web and app, making it easy to visit via phone, tablet, and desktop. AdumOnline.com, Ghana's most comprehensive news portal.
Agukansi hu kom ni nyina ba wie yo na DSTV at the live sports abre ubio. Wey any bra ya twene a che no. Shiamo Sala se wo yi ne nkache. Yakrado Emma Formula 1 any football akansi ahodo aka nyina. Abusuya tena wakunyamu na bodje wakansifo a wani gye wo hono so se wo si akan e wo league akase a ye ne gye hu no mu. Te se Serie A, La Liga, any EPL. To your DSTV will pay by the point e ben wo bia. Ana to your mobile agent bia na nya ni gye mru so imu chefa. Ubenya agukansi ahodo a asa ba nyina wo Super Sports a wo DSTV so. DSTV, feel every moment.
Now, it's now time for business, and Sandra Senamafenu is standing by, Daryl is standing by to report business from home. Hi, Daryl.
Hi, Daniel. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, Daryl, loud and clear.
Hello, Daniel.
Yes, Daryl, you're on air. Go ahead.
All right. Well, in our first story this afternoon, the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, is demanding accountability on the utilization of some 1.5 billion cedis from the Petroleum Holding Fund. The committee said the amount is neither available nor accounted for. PIAC is therefore asking Parliament to summon the Finance Ministry for clarity. More in this report.
The 2019 annual report by the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, revealed that Ghana has so far received $5.9 billion as revenue in the petroleum sector since the beginning of oil production in Ghana. Total oil production in 2019 went up by 15% as a result of higher volumes from the Jubilee and Sankofa Jinami fields. Despite this, the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, says there is less to show on how proceeds from the commodity have been utilized. At the launch of the 2019 annual report, Chairman of PIAC, Nombowaja, believes it is about time Parliament and all mandated institutions demand accountability.
Done a lot of engagement with Parliament, and we can only continue to engage Parliament to address these issues. But I will say that since PIAC is a citizen-based committee, we need your support in this type of these matters when it comes up. That is the only way probably we can put much pressure on Parliament, because Parliament also represents us anyway. So if we, the committee, present issues to Parliament and there is a seemingly lack of interest, or maybe the interest is not so high in Parliament, I think citizens' backup will also be useful in putting some pressure on Parliament to act. And I think it is the very reason you are preferred. That is why we are also saying so.
For the third consecutive year, the Public Interest and Accountability Committee is raising concerns about the remaining funds, which amounted to 1.5 billion cedis yet to be accounted for. The committee is also making a proposal for the oil fund investment to be varied. Here is Technical Manager at PIAC, Mark Ajiman.
Because currently they are invested in safe instruments, so basically sovereign bonds. So we have recommended or proposed that this qualifying instrument should be varied so that parts of our petroleum funds will be invested in low-risk instruments, meaning low returns, and parts should be invested in high-risk instruments that will guarantee high returns. So that is to regards of the operations of the IAC. They are in place, they are restructuring IAC. They've met a lot of stakeholders and they are putting final touches to that restructuring process.
Meanwhile, gas production in 2019 was the highest in the country.
Ghana's cocoa regulator, Cocoa Board, has signed a loan facility for productivity enhancement programs of the cocoa sector. The $600 million loan, which was signed in November last year, follows 2 years of negotiations between Cocoa Board and development finance institutions, including the African Development Bank. Charles Aite has more.
Already, Cocoa Board has drawn $200 million from the AFDB loan to embark on various cocoa projects, including pollination and pruning. Joseph Boahin Edu is chief executive of Cocoa Board, expressing confidence in increasing cocoa yields to 1.1 million tons of cocoa by 2026 and 2027 crop year.
Ghana Cocoa Board has set out to create a modernized, resilient, and competitive cocoa environment where all stakeholders strive towards a sustainable cocoa economy in which cocoa farmers and their communities thrive. Towards this end, Honorable Chairman, Cocoa Board seeks to raise the current productivity levels from 500 kilograms per hectare to an average of 1,000 kilograms per hectare by 2027.
Chief Executive of COCOBOD, Joseph Boahen Edu, has downplayed a report from the Reuters news agency that international risk underwriters pulled back from the 2020 and 2021 cocoa syndication loan, citing COVID-19 risks. Speaking during the launch of the AFDB $600 million syndicated loan facility, Joseph Boahen Edu reiterated that COCOBOD was in good standing with its international lenders, who are all prepared to sign up for the loan facility in September.
Management of COCOBOD has cited various reportage on COCOBOD syndication in newspapers and online news portals as COCOBOD's inability to raise its planned $1.3 billion through a syndicate of banks, citing COVID-19 risk as the main reason. Management wishes to draw the attention of the international community and the general public that these publications are false and do not reflect the current engagements between COCOBOD and the banks and financial institutions. It is worthy of note that COCOBOD has prepaid the 2019-2020 loan facility in June 2020.
Meanwhile, board chair of COCOBOD, Hackman Owusu-Agyemang, has challenged COCOBOD to explore domestic ways of pre-financing cocoa projects in the coming years.
The minister would like to see us be able to pay for things ourselves and not go for loans. Despite the skillful accounting which has made us pay our syndicated loan 3 months ahead of time, we need to reinvigorate ourselves and make our minister happy and our president happy, and for that matter, his colleague in Cote d'Ivoire, Alassane Ouattara, also happy.
JICA and AFDB agreed to provide a $3.5 billion joint facility under the fourth phase of the Enhanced Private Sector Assistance for Africa initiative. The loan marks the first time JICA and AFDB will be providing direct co-financing under the EPSA4 as well as First Non-Sovereign projects.
Well, meanwhile, COCOBOD says it wants to wean itself off external lenders. Here is the CEO, Joseph Boahen Edu.
Challenge to all of us, because honestly, when we go to a syndicate, we pay. The money they give us is not free of charge. Once it's a loan, it means that we have to pay. And if you listen to my FNA, the past 27 years loan that we contracted, when you put all together, the cost of financing a loan comes close to about $500 million, about $500 million. That's just the finance, the participation fee, the legal fee, all those fees together, and then the interest. When you put them together, about $500 million. I'm sure $500 million could have done something significant for this country. So it is in our own interest to try and then win ourselves, from this syndication. We definitely have to look forward into the future to sort of go off loans.
And that's all in business for now. More coming up on the marketplace. Meantime, handing you over to Daniel back in the studio. Daniel.
Thank you very much, Daryl. Hope you're keeping safe at home.
I am.
Good. Can't wait to see you back in the office. All right, then. Up next, we go to the home of Oreku Ampofo, who has the latest in sports. Oreku Ampofo joins us with the latest. Oreku, take us away.
Hi, Daniel. So yesterday we showed the video which was making rounds on social media about some Ghanaian footballers who were stranded in Ethiopia. And the players in the video included Ghana international Liadi and other top-flight players who have been isolated over the past 3 months following the closure of African borders, including that of Ghana. The footballers were caught unprepared in March as they could not quickly mobilize their exit due to the obligation to impose drastic measures to curb the importation and spread of the COVID-19 cases. Now, according to the players, all attempts to return home have failed. However, the president of the Ghana Football Association, Keto Kreku, responded swiftly in a Facebook post yesterday, stating that they are working hand in hand with the sports ministry and other stakeholders to ensure that these players arrive home safely. Now, early this morning, Michael Lee Benedict Owusu spoke to one of the players who has been stranded in Ethiopia, and his name is Muntari Tego, as he provides us with the latest with the case.
But Ghanaian players are Ethiopia na yefese yeshe bibi kakra enfama Ghana for na munkatira by na umbra on our aid. So
abano the financial what I say the footballers the season here cancelled, teams not sort here out since March till now. Sky one has contact scanning in a join the be as scanners say Monday by which is the rent trust you are you can ticket you can't of your jamai that you can ticket obia or return ticket you abani chow you papa 4 charge chow I'm brought to 8 number 5 because after Monday no the day I better and you asem na be your resident permit your work permit expire this way e kafu for the papa ni chow obia wa in charge of your video we no on share na ndu the better on the driver plate ya ko you papa chow
the mutie me Mutari Tego ni
yes I can cancel yes I can cancel it money ni ko kasai on batch say you need like this is a beer no man. This is a $2,000. And so I'm going to check Kabule and go at the Abagan. But I'm going to issue on Mayamai. Yeah, you are seriously, Yama cover very bad. Now, say that about here, content on done in the game, but things are very, very difficult because in Kopoku, Ghana, I rented the Gamo, move down.
Yesterday late in the evening, Lee Adi called me because we live separately. So he called me and told me Mr. Asante from the FA called him to get all the details of the players here. So they forwarded it to him. So we're expecting to hear something positive from the FA and the government as well.
That's amazing. That's very good to know. But I mean, how's the situation like in Ethiopia?
I would say it's not easy, but we've been able to comport and taking care of ourselves from March because our league was cancelled somewhere mid-February because of the pandemic. And the teams also did their best by giving us our release and the money due us. But because the borders were closed, we have to rent an apartment, rent hotels, and feed ourselves here since the borders are closed.
That was my colleague Benedict also speaking to Muntari Tego, who plays in the Ethiopian League. But before we do wrap it up, remember there are big fixtures tonight. Liverpool playing against Jordan and East Crystal Palace as they can take a step closer to that title. In Spain, Roma did play Mallorca, knowing that a win will take them to the top. And Lazio travel to Atalanta in a must-win game for Filippo Inzaghi's men. But that wraps it up for the sports segment here with me, Rick Wampofo. Back to you, Daniel, in studio.
Thank you very much, Oreko. Have a great day yourself. You're still live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. There's more coming up. Stay with us. Now some world news, and Ugandan pop star turned opposition MP Robert Kyangulanyi, popularly known as Bobby Wine, has said he will hold campaign rallies despite a ban by the Electoral Commission. The People Power Movement leader said President Yoweri Museveni was using the coronavirus pandemic as an excuse to prevent opposition leaders from reaching voters. The East African nation will hold a general election in January 2021, and the Electoral Commission has banned mass campaign rallies to protect voters against coronavirus. The Commission has encouraged aspiring candidates to campaign through the media. President Museveni, who is serving his 5th term of office, is eligible for a fresh term, but has not announced whether he will vie. Bobby Wine said the reason given for the ban on rallies was not genuine. It's live on Joy News today. Now we'll take a couple more international stories. Now, Latin America now accounts for 100,000 of the more than 477,000 COVID-19 related deaths worldwide. Brazil is the worst affected country in the region. But how are the others faring? In Peru, more than 220 police officers have died with coronavirus. The government says most of them are thought to have contracted the virus whilst enforcing quarantine measures in food markets and other public places. Peru has the second highest death toll in the region after Brazil, despite strict lockdown measures. A doctor in Honduras also gave an update on the health of President Juan Orlando Hernandez, who was taken to the hospital with coronavirus last week. He said the president had trouble breathing and was in a, quote, delicate condition, unquote. Hernandez's wife has also contracted the virus. It's all live on Joy News today. Stay with us. Now in showbiz, for those who've been walking the social media space, you would have seen the hashtag #Don'tLeaveMeChallenge trending. Well, it's actually a wordplay skit on TikTok that's got people putting their pun game to test, and exactly the type of dry humor that's so silly, it's actually brilliant. Nigerian entertainer Joshua Alfred is credited to have fathered this worldwide trend after he first posted in March this year. Several celebrities have also taken to social media to enact their own hashtag #Don'tLeaveMeChallenge. Now, guess what? Jay Foley has been speaking to the entertainer on Prime Morning.
It just came to me. It wasn't intentional. I wasn't deliberately trying to get viral. I was just doing my job. I was just playing around. And from nowhere, I just saw my stuff all over the place.
Wow.
And, it felt good. Feels good. I've been getting a lot of tags, especially from celebrities in Nigeria that know that I'm the one, because the thing has gone so far that some people don't even know where it came from. But they're jumping on the challenge, you understand?
Yeah.
And that's Josh Too Funny, or Alfred Joshua, speaking to Jay Foley on Prime Morning today. And that's it for this bulletin of Joy News today. My name is Daniel Daze. Many thanks for joining us. Up next is The Marketplace.
Joy Prime, real entertainment.
Danceterra, your dance channel.
This is your girl, Abba.
My name is Robert.
And right now you're dancing with Danceterra TV. I love you guys so much, Tiptoe. Mwah!
Brace yourself for 100% world-class dance entertainment. From dance videos to dance moves.
So for you out there, you need this